Right. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. A lot of our team is here as well. I know some of you have helped shape this cohort from the beginning. Some of you may have just heard about it, but you work directly with youth and you're interested, and we welcome all of you. Some information might be familiar and some might be new. And so please ask questions, slow us down, interrupt us so that we can make sure that you're leaving here with what you need to help support this effort. So let me share a little bit more about what we are up to. And then would love to just have everyone just put into chat maybe what brought you here today, who you're representing, while I bring this up. Right. For some reason, I have too many things open. All right. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your interest in the Youth for Equity and Action Radical Transformational Leadership Program. And recognizing that maybe not everyone's even heard of Radical Transformational Leadership. So, this program has been in existence for over a decade now for anyone who's interested in creating equitable and sustainable change in their communities. And we've been hosting these cohorts in the Bay Area for those 10 years. And there has always been an interest in how do we shape this work so that youth can access it, and it's more youth friendly, youth culture informed, and isn't so adult oriented. And we finally have come together and made that happen. And that's where we need your help, is to make sure that youth know that this is an opportunity that's been, and you'll hear more about all of this, but it's been designed for and by young people, and sort of tailored to make sure that it's engaging and accessible. And we're really excited to put these tools in the hands of young people who have the courage and the innovation and the creativity to make the world a better place. So we're here to talk about outreach for this. We've moved from sort of planning the cohort itself to now we need the young people in the cohort to join us. We need to make sure that they know it's an opportunity and that they have the support of their adult allies to be able to attend as well. So just to go through this briefly, communities face rising polarization. This is no new news to any of us. Inequities are growing, and there's a lot of chaos out there. But in the midst of that chaos is an incredible opportunity to engage young people to do things differently from now moving forward. So many that I've encountered, and I know many of you have incredible ideas for how to do things better, period. End of sentence. And we want to support that. We want to support that innovation, those ideas, that creativity to come forward and for them to have access to the tools that can help them do that we've seen helped us do that very same thing, and they would have access to those same tools. So we want to ensure that this is accessible, and that it's, again, designed for and by young people. There's so many times that young people lack access to leadership pathways, don't see themselves as leaders, maybe don't have the support to create the change that they want to see in the world. And that's exactly the gap that we're trying to close. And we want your help to try to do that. So with all of that insight, creativity, a deep stake in the future, we want youth to be in the position to be able to make meaningful change. And so the Youth for Equity and Action, YEA, program is starting this summer. And we're going to hear more about all of the details from my teammates here in just a moment. But through live, virtual, and peer coaching circles and all of the elements that are in a Radical Transformational Leadership cohort, we'll be able to really grow a cohort of young people that have these skills and can then ripple effects support other young people to do the same. So thank you for being here. Thank you for helping you are now a part of this vision as well, whether you know it or not, to help make it come to a reality for us, for the young people that we're working with, and for you and the young people you're working with as well. So I'm going to stop there. and um, and hand it over to my colleague Robin. And we hope that you'll leave here today making, with what you need to talk about this program, to reach out, to connect into this work in various ways, and be able to support growing the cohort as it gets started. Robin, I'll hand it over to you for more details.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. My name is Robin. I'm a founding practitioner with Impact Launch. And I'm just going to add on to some of the things that Megan just shared. Um, this is a pretty quick overview, so please dig into the resources we're going to share. And we are here for emails, for questions, all of the things. So this program is a partnership between Impact Launch and the One of Us Global Foundation, partnering with young people to offer this program. Um, and as Megan mentioned, so what YEA is a 7-week live virtual leadership program. And I just want to do a shout out. Our Santa Cruz County enrollment was strong. All of you joining us here, joining our team here today are from Santa Cruz County, which is fantastic. We love that. And this is a national, you know, program, so it will be for folks beyond Santa Cruz County as well. But we're so glad that that focus is here too today. Um, and the program is really about tapping in to our natural insights, our natural creativity, our natural courage, who we are, and then offering practical tools to make change. And youth come in with projects that they create. Um, and yeah, as Megan mentioned, it's tailored for youth. And when we say youth, we've decided for this cohort, it's ages 14 to 18 at the start of the program in June, whatever age. And it is based on the Radical Transformational Leadership program, which was developed by Dr. Monica Sharma, who's the former director of leadership and capacity development for the United Nations. So it's proven tools that we are tailoring for youth. Um, our impact launch practitioners have been delivering RTL programs for almost 15 years, but as Megan said, this is our first time not delivering it to youth because we've had youth attend our programs, but having a cohort specific for youth. Um, and at its core, the YEA program uses the conscious full spectrum response model for participants to learn to combine inner growth and leadership truly from the inside out. And we look at systems change and not just look at it, but apply it to our projects and provide specific project design strategies that help participants really design their projects for equity and for results on the issues that they've chosen that they care about. So there's lots of words on the screen. You'll have access to this later, but that's just a quick overview of that piece. Next slide, please. And as we mentioned, it's about results. So it's not just theory. It is proven tools and approaches, but it's about action and results. And so these are some projects that have been implemented using program tools. And when we say project, we just mean anything that is working towards improving conditions for people and the planet. Next slide, please. All right. And so we get feedback from participants. We've done evaluations on our programs, and what comes back resounding every time is that this program increases courage, it increases feelings of empowerment, it increases practical ways to align action for equity within our own projects and with others, and really understanding how to design projects to create change. So it we walk away from this program with more courage, more tools, and inspiration, which is what we all need right now. Next slide, please. So again, bringing a project, these are just some examples. There's no no constrictions on what projects are brought in to this program other than that the intention is that it's for improving conditions for people and or the planet. But it can be personal growth, it can be petitioning for policy changes in school, work, government, it can be coordinating events. It really, really broad range. And it's what the individual folks are interested in that they bring. And the tools we provide are applied to anybody's project, everybody's project. All right. Um, so enough hearing from me on this. I want to share a 3-minute testimonial video where you can hear from some of our team members who are here today, as well as a few who aren't joining us here today to just hear from youth themselves who participated in our more adult-focused programs to share about what they've gotten from this program. And while Megan's pulling that up, please just jot down any questions you have. You can put them in the chat, but we'll have time for Q&A after we kind of go through our spiel here.
For some reason,
Hmm.
I'm not finding the link.
It should just be right there. Oh, on slide 10, it's you just
Oh,
click on it.
oh,
It looks like a giant logo, but it's actually an embedded video.
sure does. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Megan.
I've found that it helps me to listen to others more deeply than I used to. My discernment skills are sharper than ever, and overall, I'm more confident in my leadership abilities, both in my private life and in my volunteer work.
It provided various ways of thinking that helped me get a clear direction on where I want to go with whatever project or thing I was doing at the time.
I learned to design projects rooted in equity, think strategically about systems change in order to be able to lead with more purpose and clarity. The values-based leadership model allowed me to think critically about my role as a leader, emphasizing not just what we do, but how we do it.
I've used the tools of Radical Transformational Leadership to help guide the founding and building of the One of Us Global Foundation. It was a gift to learn tools and practices that truly work, to not only find and learn how to deeply source who I authentically and innately am, and at the same time support others to do the same, but also tools that helped me discern the invisible systems and cultural norms that were creating the barriers that I had continued to face in my work.
I think it's really important that we listen to each other, even when we don't agree. Being able to ground myself in my stand has really helped me in situations where I'm not seeing eye to eye with the people I'm trying to speak to.
If you haven't really run any sort of project before, this gives you the biggest head start ever, where it can give you a bunch of tools. And if you already have some experience, you don't have to get rid of the tools you already learned beforehand. You can add on the tools you learn with RTL.
I left RTL Impact with a renewed sense of possibility and responsibility that ultimately has allowed me to become a more intentional leader focused on long-term impact and results.
I'm excited by the prospect of a whole generation of leaders approaching our complex problems differently. This begins with ensuring that young people can be their authentic selves and tap into their greatest strengths and amazing creativity. The RTL tools provide this. They're inside out, beginning with self-awareness and understanding, and remembering that we stand for our values not just for other people, but for ourselves. Younger generations are more connected than any previous generations and have a deep understanding of our shared humanity. Imagine what is possible if young people have tools like this at such a formative time of life.
I hope that a lot of more people in my age range can take a part of this wonderful program, and I can't wait to see how we could change the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Tristan and Pamela and Stacy, who are here today, who were featured in the video. And thank you so much, Emma, for editing a lot more content into our 3-minute. video. So that just gives a little taste. I would love to invite up Tristan to share more about, we heard about your experience, participating in the RTL program and anything else you want to add to that. But we'd also love to hear your experience being part of the design team with us. Tristan.
Yes, hello everyone. My name's Tristan, and I'm coming from the One of Us Global side of things, and I went through the RTL program specifically targeted to adults and such. And it was such an amazing experience being with this youth leadership team because it was made up of other youth as well as other adult RTL leaders, especially those who also work with youth. And we were able to take a program which has done wonderful things for, people that may be like older than me and specifically targeted down to what's important for young people today. Because when I went through that adult program, I was able to get so much from the tools, but there's also just, a few different parts that there's a little bit there where like, I'm in a breakout room, but it's with someone who has 20 years of nonprofit experience. It's a little harder with the tools there, but in this situation, it's made up entirely of youth and targeted for youth. And you can see that in terms of the schedule we have and how we're planning to deliver these tools. And I feel like all of this together, like what was mentioned in the testimonial video, is very needed at this point in time. Because I'm also thinking about how youth nowadays are a lot more connected digitally. Because one thing I utilize the tools for is that it's so much easier to cut through the noise of conversation, especially when everything is so trying to be painted in black and white. It's so important nowadays for people to be able to not only execute these projects, which we have tools for, but also recognize their own emotions and how they handle these conversations, especially as digital tools continue to evolve and grow. And so, yeah, it's been a great time. We're going to execute such a great program, and it would be amazing to get some youth to be a part of that. Now I'll hand it over to Stacy, I believe. Yes, okay.
Thank you so much, Tristan. And it's also been an honor for us to work with you and the other young folks on our team, because as Tristan said, we are wanting this to be as accessible and as engaging as possible so that we really can have impact with the young people. So we needed to hear from them what was going to work best for them in terms of tailoring this program to really be as impactful as possible. So as Robin and Megan and everyone has shared already, what we have designed this particular program to be this time out is going to be a virtual program, and it's going to be structured with 4-hour sessions. Typically in our program, we've had full day sessions for this, but we recognize that to make this land better and to be more accessible for our young people who are really busy and are accustomed to different kinds of learning, it's structured in 4-hour sessions, with some of them in, as you can see, and with Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then alternating with single sessions. So we're hoping that structuring it in this way will make it much more accessible for our young people. And again, this was created with the impact and the insight of our young people like Tristan and Emma and Shelby, who are here today. In addition to these sessions, I should also share, I think, Megan, you mentioned in the beginning that there's, these are inside-out tools and they're also interactive. So these aren't lectures. We're not going to be in these spaces just providing, teaching sessions. These are really just opportunities to learn the tools and then try them on together. And these are very interactive sessions because even though Robin and myself and my colleague Priscilla are going to be, leading the delivery of these tools, Where the true learning really comes from is the insights of the participants. So, there's lots and lots of opportunity to try these tools on in practice, in, one-on-one, in small breakouts, in pairs, and then also to share insights with the full group. And for me personally, that's always where my greatest learnings have been as a leader. So really looking forward to that opportunity to hear the incredible wisdom of our young people. We also mentioned earlier, they've been on some of the slides, but I want to dig in a little bit more how the tuition is going to work for this. Our intention is that we want this to be as accessible to young people, not just in terms of how it's been structured, but also in terms of finances. We don't want anyone to not be able to participate because of, financial needs. However, of course, we also do have our own financial needs with this program, and we would love to be able to cover all of our costs, and there are definitely costs to put this together. And our amazing team at Impact Launch have just been working tirelessly to present this program, and I'm so grateful for Robin and Sarah in particular, who've done so much work behind the scenes for this. So our tuition is a sliding scale, a tiered tuition, and the actual cost for the tuition is $15.50 per participant. But again, if there are needs that people have, we have scholarships available to be able to support young people. But of course, if people are able to pay the full amount, we would deeply appreciate that to help us make sure that we have more funds available to include as many people as possible who are interested in being part of this. So that's basically the cost for this. Is there anything else that you all wanted to make sure I covered, Megan and Sarah? All right. Then I think, Sarah, I'm turning this over to you because, as we said, we want to make sure that we have young people participating, and Sarah has put together an amazing toolkit for us to help us with outreach. So.
Great. Thank you, Stacy. So my name is Sarah Emmert, and those that know me know I care so deeply about youth well-being and supporting young people in stepping into their fullest potential. I've been practicing using the radical transformational tools for over a decade now, and it's really driven so much of my community work and the work that I do with young people. I'm going to share my screen. And what we wanted to do is make a toolkit that was kind of like a one-stop shop for outreach, whether you're a nonprofit leader working with young people or coordinating a youth group, an educator, working with parents who have young people that that could potentially register for this. So here's our toolkit. And the purpose is, again, to help partners, educators, families, community members share and recruit for Youth for Equity and Action. There's, the three easiest ways to share is to send the flyer directly to a young person who comes to mind, post on social media, or add a blurb to the newsletter or email list. And so again, one-stop shop with this document. If I believe somebody has put it into chat, I hope they have. And so you can, here's our website right here. It's on the One of Us Global Foundation. And here's where folks can apply. Here's the dates, what you get out of it, the testimonial video that we just saw. And then we also down below have, let's see, scrolling down, the tuition information, as well as FNQs. If somebody's going to be turning 19 soon, if somebody's 13, what do we mean by project? If somebody's going to miss a session, Do they see themselves as a leader right now? What is radical transformational leadership? So again, this is the website that has a lot of information. We have the registration link in here. We have the clip to the 3-minute video, as well as there's a longer 7-minute video. We have our program flyer right here. And this is great to print up for young people and maybe post in lobbies or in classrooms. We have informational slides. Some folks want to really learn more about the program. And so here's some of the PowerPoints that you all are seeing today, but a little bit more intensive. And we have logos and FNQ. We wanted to create some, sample social media posts with some hashtags. So here's, a more youth-focused one. And then we have posts that are more adult focused with the audience. We have LinkedIn posts to share as well as Insta stories or TikToks. And then after this session, we'll go ahead and send you all the newsletter email that has more graphics in it. But if you just want to include some verbiage in a newsletter that you all send out, we also wanted to include some sample text there. And so some tangible ideas, we know that personal invitations with young people, I know as I've engaged with young people, I see their leadership, but they don't always define themselves as leaders. And so this is an opportunity to really reach out directly to a young person so they can start seeing themselves as that leader that we know that they are. Partner with teachers and counselors to recommend students, post the clips from the testimonial video on social media, and then use the flyer in group chats, Discord, youth spaces, not just email. Okay, so that is our outreach toolkit. I am going to turn it back over to Robin.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Okay, so we just threw a lot of info at you all. There's a couple things I would just love to clarify before we move to Q&A. So one of those pieces is when we were talking about this cohort in particular, given that it's virtual, given that it's open, we are tailoring our outreach to youth who are part of youth groups already. So that's, folks that we've reached out to. Some of you represent that right now. It's not a hard and strict rule, but we just know that youth will thrive when they have support around these tools rather than just one person on their own in their community by themselves. Like they will still get a lot out of this program, but that is part of our intention. So I just wanted to name that. Don't let that stop you from inviting, single youth who aren't part of a youth leadership program already, but that is our kind of our focus. And then the other piece is I just wanted to circle back to the tuition piece and just name that, some youth will be attending solo, but in our conversations with organizations, when there's a budget to send youth, that is ideal. Um, and, if you are sitting on a budget and happen to have extra funds or just really want to join us in being able to provide this to everyone, we are also accepting sponsorships at any level. So just wanted to name that as well. But I want to open it up to you all to see what questions for clarity, any ideas, questions you have that we can answer while we're here together today. Yeah, Ian.
My name's Ian. I'm part of the One of Us Global Foundation. I thought it was important, a great presentation. I think it's important, having gone through a radical transformational leadership, to highlight what distinguishes participation in a program from reading a book or watching some videos on it. Having gone through a cohort, being able to work through practical examples using the tools with people, it brings much more clarity to practice the tools being applied. Additionally, doing it with other people who are grounded in a position of wanting to drive positive change in themselves or in the world really has a sense of camaraderie and common purpose and alignment that you can't capture doing it solo. It gives a sense of belonging to you're not alone. You're not doing it in isolation, and that has it instills hope, and it's a very powerful thing.
Thank you for emphasizing that, Ian. Questions?
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
I have
Hi,
a quick
Casey.
question. Hi, good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I'm just wondering, thank you so much for providing this information and all the work that you guys do. I'm just learning about it and really still in that early stages and would love to help support our students at Santa Cruz High get this information. I'm wondering if there's a possibility to maybe do like a quick 10-minute presentation in a class or at a club with a club. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'll reach out. Robin, reach out to you on
Yeah,
that.
that's perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a Santa Cruz High alum, so I'm just more than happy to come and come
Great.
and talk to the kids and can bring,
Wonderful.
yeah, absolutely.
And we'll plan. Thank you for making that toolkit too, by the way. I mean, that's awesome. We'll make sure to get the word out. But again, as you all know, nothing beats in person. So anyway, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Casey. Yeah, that's an open invitation to anybody and those of us that are, a lot of Santa Cruz folks, we can come in person for those presentations. If there are partners you have in other locales that we are not physically, we can do virtual presentations. But yeah, happy to share more in any format that works for your teams. Any other questions? Team, any pieces that folks might not know to ask, but that we didn't cover in
Yeah.
our,
Yeah, I
yeah,
have a few things that are just coming to mind. Just thinking also about, equity and some of the young people with technology access, and what that might look like. And, I would never want a young person not to want to join because they may not have their own private space to be, in front of a computer. And so we've thought about that. I'm thinking about Pam and Anissa and even Liz, the young people, and probably Nick, the young people that you work with. And so we've brainstormed a little bit of, for example, could a group of young people come together, like the team come together and do the sessions in the United Way conference room? Or Anissa, could the young people do the sessions in Looney East Seoul, one of the classrooms, or something like that? So then that way the young people are coming together and aren't isolated or have, have concerns around tech or seeing somebody's bedroom, that type of stuff. And Casey, probably, some of the young people that are at Santa Cruz High have some of the same issues. So we've thought about that, and so wanted to hear some of your thoughts about that. Pam.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. That was gonna be my question. And I'm wondering if when there's opportunity to, for example, in RTL, when we go into breakout rooms, if it's possible for them to do it in person so that they also get that sort of engagement, if we are following that model.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts about that or equity issues or anything like that? Let's see. Uh, Technical function of the tools. Great. I'll pass it to Robin or Megan.
Megan, do you want to take that one?
Sure. Nick, could you just share a little bit more about what the context of your question? I'm happy to go into it a little more. Meaning, like, what could they be used for, that kind of thing?
Hey, yes, good morning, everybody, and thank you again for the presentation. I feel like I do understand the overview, the vision, and the goal. When I'm trying to convince my probationers to participate in anything, it's like I can tell them the overview and they're like, okay, but what's the nitty gritty? So I was just like, I just hear a lot about these tools. And also because I have to report back to my supervisor and the rest of the team, kind of what I've learned from here. So I've heard a lot about the tools, but I'm just curious, like what are they? Like, is it software? Is it like
Right.
something that they work with? Like I get the overview, but I just don't understand the technical aspect of the tools.
That's a very fair question, and I will launch into my RTL spiel. And anybody else here who's used the tools, please feel free to add. But yeah, thanks, Nick. I think that's important to note. So, just a little bit of background on radical transformational leadership to provide some context for the tools. So, this framework was developed by Dr. Monica Sharma, who's the former director of leadership and capacity development for the United Nations, and we still work with her. She's facilitated many of our cohorts in the Bay Area, and she developed these tools that I'll get to in a minute. Through her work with the UN, recognizing that complex social issues are not just a policy issue, they're not just a top-down solution, that everyone who has a stake in and a role to play in the solution needs to be part of that conversation, and they need access to the tools to create that change. As we all probably on this call know, systems change, addressing complex social issues, when we think about poverty or hunger or other inequities that are facing our communities, they take a multi-pronged approach. But how do we, if we don't have a PhD in systems change or public health or whatever it is, how do we access templates, practices, frameworks, tools that can help us actually not just design the change we want to see, but navigate all the challenge that comes with that? So that's a little bit of context for RTL in general. So the tools that we use in RTL, one, are proven on the ground to generate results. They're based on the best leadership and change theories and frameworks out there, but they are proven because they were then tested on the ground with real humans and real communities, creating real change. And only what actually was accessible and actually worked is brought into the program. So that's one of the most powerful things for me when I first learned about this work, was that it's the fact that this isn't just theory. It's not just good ideas. It's actual practical application of leadership and change work. And so the tools really relate to three main threads. One is what Stacy was sharing so beautifully, is the inside out piece of, there's a segment of these tools and practices that focus on who we are as leaders. So understanding our universal values, like what we stand for as each unique beings, and then what are the fears that get in the way of that? Things like background conversations, the chatter that has us polarize a space of either or, us, them, right, wrong. So leadership tools that help bring out the best of who we are, help us see ourselves as leaders, help us work with other people to help them see themselves as leaders, etc. Then we move into and weave in project design tools. So there's a tool that is literally a map of the project that you want to create. And again, we gave some examples of those. I don't know, Tristan, do you want to just share a minute on potato seeds, which was your project that you designed using these tools?
Yeah, sure. When I came into the program, it was right at the beginning of One of Us, and right when I had the idea of potato seeds, which is to simplify it a little bit, it's gives mentorship support and as well as small amounts of funding to various youth projects. We did our first go through and finished that a few months ago, and that was projects nationwide, and we're planning on expanding it globally. But the tools in RTL really helped, and like kind of like what's been gone over here, a multifaceted, multi-pronged approach where you kind of consider what's most important in terms of like values? Does this exemplify the like impact, compassion, empowerment that I stand for how I navigate through my life and through my interactions with other people? And then it takes those values, those things you hold dear, and then it brings it into project design. So with that project design, you're looking not only right at the issue, you're looking at what's around that issue. I think the best analogy I could think of is like if you keep getting a paper cut, you could put a band-aid on it, but you should also figure out why you're getting that paper cut in the first place. It for me and potato seeds especially, it really helped expand my thinking a bit because I got really good at thinking about just the direct issue, but now I can think about how to problem solve on a more holistic scale, and that's kind of what the tools are able to provide for that.
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you. And as you're seeing in chat, there's different ways of framing this, and there's some key words in chat in terms of making the case to your supervisors around social emotional learning, et cetera, which is absolutely true. I think design meaning exactly what Tristan just shared. How do we think about our projects in the way that they can really have impact, and also how we show up as leaders in those? And then the third leg of that stool is then leading others to lead. How do we empower those around us? And that's so powerful for young people to be able to empower their peers to also think this way and lead this way with this new set of tools around them. So I think what Emma and Robin said in chat is also a really good perspective on what these tools provide. And they range from very practical tools, like how do we address complaints differently? How do I show up in a way that doesn't create more conflict? Those are all really important leadership skills, all the way to how do I ensure that my project's designed in a way that it's sustainable? So it's a very holistic set of tools. Robin.
And just to get really literal, some are worksheets, like literal worksheets, and some are prompts. So there's a slide up with prompts and folks are writing. So just if that's also part of what you're wondering, like that's part of the practicality, is like there are literal worksheets that we revisit multiple times, or there's prompts. And those are the tools and templates.
Pam.
For Jóvenes Sanos, we typically host a summer leadership program. So we're thinking, if we embed this, is there opportunity to look at the tools that they're going to learn so that we can have maybe a couple of hours of practice afterwards, especially if we're meeting in person?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, thanks, Robin. Thanks, Nick. The technical part is, it's not, they are not apps. It's not software. It's pretty basic, but powerful in terms of keeping folks engaged with each other rather than staring at other things. So very interactive worksheets and prompts and conversations and discussions, and then things to take away, things that they can use forever. Anissa. Oh, for some reason we can't hear you, but you're not on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I had my mic up. So my question is, so I know this program is centered for youth, but I'm wondering, is there also like tools for facilitators to like help incorporate this with our youth? And I'm just thinking on my team, because we've kind of been transforming how we deliver services and how we connect with youth since I've, been on board. And I know that's something that would be helpful for my team. So that way we can just like better educate and be able to provide these tools. So is there tools for us to give these tools out? Does that make sense?
Go ahead.
I can take that. Yeah, sorry, I was just pulling up a link to our RTL Foundations coming up.
I'm doing that too.
We've worked together a long time. Yeah, so that's really, I love that you asked that question, because that is the ideal, right? Is that there's this supportive ecosystem. And, Pamela is someone that's participated in the program, has used the tools, has been a practitioner coach. And so she has some of that already that she's able to do with the youth. And for folks that haven't, I think that the best way would be to come to one of our adult programs and experience the tools yourself and apply them to a project that matters to you, whether that's designing this with the youth or anything in your world. And right now we have an opportunity coming up at the end of this month. So April 30th and May 1st it's a short foundations course. So it's the core tools that the youth will be learning as well. We'll be going over more tools with the youth, but it's a great way to get familiar, get some of the shared language and frameworking and all of those pieces. So if you're available, that would be that ideal. Um, there's also Monica put out the Radical Transformational Leadership book in 2017. There's an audio book. And then there's us as resources to, meet with you, talk with you, all of those pieces. But there's nothing like experiencing it.
Yeah. Okay. And then if we do want to attend those days, do I just reach out to you, Robin, to just sign up or?
Yeah, let's see. Megan just put the link in the chat so you can learn more about it and register right on our website.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we can meet afterwards and brainstorm. Like this is the beauty of being kind of small organizations is we're really nimble and we're really committed to making this work for you and the youth. So whatever it takes, we're here for it. I saw some stuff going on our internal team on the chat. I think I want to invite either Shelby or Stacy to speak a little bit about the way that youth can engage asynchronously between the sessions.
I'm happy to jump in. Shelby's just in the middle of something at the moment, and I apologize. I didn't introduce myself officially when I jumped in earlier, but I was in the video, so I didn't want to be duplicative. But my name is Stacy, and I'm just so honored that I was able to be part of the RTL program myself many times over, and I continue to increase and expand my learning, and these tools are what led to the founding and development of our One of Us Global Foundation. So just kind of wanted to stick that in since I left that out before. But I think also, the questions that you asked, Nick, about the practical, technical way the tools work, I wanted to add in that in addition to the sessions and the opportunities to practice within the sessions, there's also a really important aspect of practicing the tools between the sessions. And that happens in what we call pods, which are triads. And we're specifically designing those this time out to be in a Discord server. So there's going to be an opportunity to meet virtually to practice at least once a week the tools and to really share insights with each other about what they are learning about themselves and how they're applying the tools that they're learning. But also an opportunity to be connected asynchronously, which we know is something that young people do really effortlessly and really helps build community. So we're excited about this new added aspect of how we can keep young people engaged between sessions and hopefully help them build a community even beyond the practice of the tools. So that's the main tool that we use within One of Us, and it really works, so I think I'm excited about the opportunity for the young people to really engage around the tools on an ongoing basis, not just in our sessions, but to really be practicing them both in live time and also asynchronously. So just wanted to share that. And hopefully that's also an incentive for young people. Yeah, because I think we want to really give people as many ways to engage as possible. We really recognize that some people are visual learners, some people are kinesthetic learners, some people are, verbal processors. So that's one thing we've really heard from particularly the young people on our team is just giving as many opportunities for people to engage in as many ways as possible. So.
Yeah, thanks for those additions. Any other questions? All right. Well, Stacy, I'm going to hand it over to you to close us out and let everyone know how they can continue to reach us.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, we thank you again so much for being here today. We really hope that we've given you the information that you need to be able to help us encourage folks to join us on this amazing, exciting journey. This is just the beginning also. I just want to add that. Like this is our first program, but we have so many visions for how this idea might grow into in-person opportunities and more virtual opportunities in the future. So we really would love to see this be a full group of engaged young people. If you have any questions, if you want, as as Casey was asking, if you would like any opportunities for us to come share in your school, workplace, community, please reach out to Robin at Impact Launch. Or if anyone has any questions, particularly if any young people themselves have questions and they just want to talk directly to either Robin or myself, please feel free to forward on our email addresses. No question is too small or too big. So we would love to talk to anyone who might have any interest in this program for now or beyond. And again, if there are, if you're not able to participate or you're not sure you know how to help, we also would really appreciate any ideas for how we can encourage people to sponsor or contribute to the program too, because we really just want to make sure it's as successful as possible. But I'm just super excited about the possibilities for what can happen. As I said in the video, like when I think about what is possible when young people have these tools, and the future that we're going to be able to build together intergenerationally, I am really, really looking forward to what's going to happen in this program and beyond. So in the RTL programs, we always like to end our sessions with quotes. So we have a beautiful quote today from Amanda Gorman that we wanted to leave you with. But as for the future, I foresee a world which is more creative, more open, more loving, more ecologically friendly, more honest about its history and progress. And I think a lot of these contributions will be made by young people. Amanda Gorman, award-winning writer and youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us, and please spread the word.
Yeah.
Really
Thank you all so much for joining, and we'll send a follow-up email as well with lots of the links that we shared, so it's all in one place for you.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.